Hello viewers, hope mmekuwa na wiki njema. Karibuni kwenye episode ingine ya leo. Remember I'm your host William Kimaya, and then we have our guest whom I'd like to invite them to introduce themselves. So gentlemen, karibuni. Today we start from here.
Hello everyone, my name is John Nyangori. I'm an MC.
Hi, my name is Henry Kamunde, an educator, translator, and everything else. And enter to the youth.
You anything else ni yani na deal na vijana.
Youth mentor. Hiyo ndio inaitwa hustler.
Hiyo ndio part ya hustling sasa.
Kujua kuishi katika Kenya.
Inaitwa kuishi vizuri na watu.
Nairobi imemfunza.
Yeah, Nairobi lazima learn, live the hard way in Nairobi. So karibuni sana kwa show. First tungependa kumwish rafiki yetu ama rafiki yangu Morris a happy birthday as you celebrate your birthday today 12th of December. So happy birthday. Natumai kwamba John ni mwimbaji ataweza kukuimbia kabla tumalize show. So atafi. Yeah, okay. So now ladies and gentlemen, remember the show is talking about challenges and opportunity for young people in Africa today. And with me today, unaona leo mpaka nimefanya research enough. And today we are doing a topic that is really affecting the young people, not only in Africa but also more so in Kenya today. So ladies and gentlemen, today we want to tackle the issue of HIV and AIDS among young people. The research sijui kama mtaweza kuona, but the research inanionyesha kwamba more than half, that is 51% of new HIV infection in Kenya, that was in 2015-2016, occurred among adolescents, yani young people aged between 15 to 24. So gentlemen, what do you think? What causes this increment, yani more than 50% among the young people?
Maybe I can start. One of the reasons I think this is happening is because we tended to focus on HIV, issues relating to HIV, focus our energies to the adults, to people who are married, to older adults, and forgot young adults. So I think it is a wake-up call that we also started thinking about teens. Not only people even aged 15, even people who are aged 8, 9, 10. By the time we realize people even who are aged 10 are acquiring HIV at that age. So I think it's because many organizations, governments, I think it's not just in Kenya, but I think world over, we just kind of mobilize our resources towards campaigning against HIV and educating the adults and kind of forgetting the children. People who are 15, they are children really. Actually, many of them are just in Form 1, and even to some extent, some others are even in Class 8. So I think it's the high time now we focus our campaigns, our education on HIV matters to the young people and especially teenagers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for that insight. So, John.
Yeah, I think the statistics are shocking, but also it's expected. You know?
It is expected.
Yeah, it's expected because nowadays, the young men, young boys and girls, they become sexually active at a very tender age. You know? So with this one, at 15, 16, there is not a lot to think about from enjoying yourself and trying things here and there. So in the course of this trying, without knowing exactly what the effects will be, so this one is going to cause these young men do premature or sex at not the right age, and then they are not prepared about it. They don't know how to protect themselves or what it comes after. So this can be as a result of not knowing the dangers of engaging in sex at that age, and then not knowing what good sex is.
Okay, now thank you, John. You've said that first you've said that the statistic is shocking, and then again you are saying it was expected. Mr. Henry, do you think that these kind of results were expected, as John is saying?
Yeah, partly yes, because if we neglected that population, we don't have any opportunities for them to, I mean proper opportunities, platforms where they could learn these things. We are just, this age group is in school. The people are talking about it, they are in school. We are
Also primary school.
Exactly.
15 years.
Yeah, primary school and even high school. So we are busy teaching them, curriculum. And we don't have time to let them know about life skills. We are getting this education, but this education could be wasted if you don't take care of your health, if you don't take care of your life, you don't take care of your relationships, if you don't establish healthy relationships, if you don't learn how to control your body, yourself, if you don't learn a bit of discipline. So we just focused on education, or rather curriculum, and the syllabuses and the examinations, and watoto wapite mitihani, and then forgot that these children, when they are not in the classroom, they are doing something else. They are watching other things online, because now we are an age that is quite digital. So they are busy teaching themselves other things other than what we are teaching them in the classrooms. So I think to some extent I agree with him. It should not even be shocking to us, because we neglected them, we forgot them.
And also we assumed. You assume like these young people, they are very innocent. Once you assume that your child is innocent, you don't want to talk about sex with the child, then this is what we get. So that's what I'm saying, we are prepared for these statistics. And if we don't talk about it again and again and again, like we are doing right now, creating awareness, it might end up shocking us even more, and even we're going to lose young people at a very tender age, which should not be happening.
Okay, not about blame game, but now, whose failure is it? Is it the failure of the parent? Is it because he's talking about the school focusing on curriculum and passing the exam and neglecting the life skills and this kind of teaching? So, is it the fault of teachers, the parents, the society, or the teens themselves?
I think
because 51% yenyewe teens hapo sijui trust. You think?
Yeah, I think we've all failed in this, as a society in general. Because, of course, the society has the school, the society has the parents, the children themselves, they need to have restraint. So the church, what is its role? When, for instance, we send our children to the church on Sundays, do we just teach them the Bible? And if we teach them the Bible, do we bring in other aspects of life and relate the biblical issues with the realities? Okay, if it's in the school environment, we are teaching them the curriculum. Do we relate that which they are learning with the realities? HIV/AIDS is a reality. It could be with you, it could be with me, it could be with your child, it could be with my child, it could be with my nephew, my cousin, everyone. I mean, it's a present. So we need to have it also anchored in our curriculum. Of course, the curriculum that we are having, the incoming curriculum, the one that we are getting into, the CBC curriculum, it's appreciating HIV and AIDS, and I think it's being taught at quite an early age, and probably we may start seeing this kind of a lot of changes happening.
Thank you for bringing in the aspect of the new curriculum.
Yes.
You as a lecturer, and people have been criticizing this one because people are being, students or kids are being taught sexuality at a very tender age.
Yeah.
Do you think when you are taught a sexuality at a younger age, una promote, will it increase, or do we have any chances of reducing it?
It all depends with how it's taught. If it's well done, the curriculum is well prepared. Of course, now the curriculum is just being piloted, and we don't know, especially at the upper levels, what exactly is going to be contained in the curriculum design. But to just answer your question, it depends on what is exactly to be delivered and how it's going to be delivered and to what age. Because the content is very necessary, but it has to be age appropriate. Okay? So it's not, of course, telling them everything from the initial, from the word go. So it's everything is to be delivered according to to the ages of the children. So I don't think by telling children about their sexuality, getting that they need to know themselves, they need to be very careful about the way they live, the way they need to appreciate their sexuality. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. Yeah. It depends who tells them, how they are told, and what exactly they are told.
Thank you, gentlemen. So allow me to shift the question a bit. Now, John said that these teens, they are sexually active. And I'm looking at it this way. At 15 age, yeah, I remember last week we were talking about teenage pregnancy. And we realized that this year only 275, the age between 10 to 14 had babies. Now, that's it's a bit shocking because now the 51% increment. I'm just wondering, is it that these people, they've indulged themselves in sex at early age, or what else is causing? Is it because they were born with HIV positive and they weren't taken care of at an early age, or maybe John?
Yeah, before even I come to that question, I think Henry has talked about the society and the religious leaders and other people
Neglecting to talk about it.
Yes, but now don't forget the teens themselves. Themselves are also an issue. You know, not every teen that has not been talked to. People have talked about this HIV/AIDS causes and what happens after sex. Not like the religious leaders, the parents are not talking about it. They do talk about it, but the problem alone, the teens also, some they are a bit stubborn. You are told don't do this, but still they go indulging into this sex we are talking about. So it's not about these other people also. The teens alone are to blame.
But is this teaching really intensified like before? Because I remember when I was in high school or even primary, we used to have these people coming to talk to us about HIV/AIDS. They could come with some clips to show us. I think they were somehow terrifying, so you couldn't think of it. But nowadays, what are we talking about? Is it intensified even as much as we are blaming the youth? Is it really intensified the way it was done before?
But then they say one wise counsel, one is enough for someone who is ready to learn, to listen, and follow the advice. So we don't have to talk about intensity, you know. Is it reaching? Is the information reaching these young men? Yes, the information is reaching from different forums. That one we can assure. The media is talking about it, the church, workshops, everywhere. This information is getting out. I saw there was a campaign, the World AIDS Day was held. Campaigns are done everywhere about AIDS. But then, what is happening? People are neglecting these messages. And the moment these young men neglect the messages, then we'll have those numbers even increasing. Don't talk even about 50, 51. It's going to go higher and higher and higher because we know the kind of generation. You tell them don't do this, then it's like we are motivating them to do it. If you tell them do it, like now work hard, they will say let us listen. So it's like they want to do the opposite, you know.
So should we tell them have HIV and AIDS and then
but don't say that.
Well, I know I would want to agree with John to quite a good extent, but I would just want to say we have when they neglect our own advice.
Yes.
Who is to blame? Is it not necessarily them? Maybe we need to ask ourselves, why do they neglect our advice? Probably it's because of the way we package the advice. Probably it's because
the judgmental aspects.
Yeah, maybe we also judge them. And another thing is remember again, we are saying that we're in a very digital world. So they are getting information and a lot of information from every quarter. You know, from online, from friends, from all over. And now networks are so many. So you just one parent saying, or just a parent saying once, you know, doesn't mean that it has stuck into the mind of the child. They need to be kept reminded by everyone around. Maybe a teacher told them once. So we need to intensify that message every now and then, so that we don't just say, we told them, so they just didn't heed it to the advice.
But also, one thing I can add, because personally I'm not much into intensifying it, is to ensure the word reaches everyone. You don't have to repeat in different ways because things are being said. So let us ensure it reaches everyone. If you get the word once, if you do this, this is going to happen. That is enough. It's upon you to see if you're going to follow it or not.
But John, you know,
Right.
a youth, you tell him when there are 10 years,
I know.
when you do this,
Yeah.
this will happen. Then someone tells you, oh, I've done it many times,
It
nothing
didn't
has
happen.
happened.
Yeah,
so you
Yeah,
they'll
you
have
need
already
somebody,
unlearned.
yeah.
So they need to be told every now and again.
Yeah, and then remember, we are human beings and we are very forgetful, so you need to be reminded.
Yeah.
No, these things, there are some, we can call them some sweet things. So if somebody come and maybe try to seduce you to sex, and then if you have maybe two pictures, sex and HIV and AIDS. Now, this one will be speaking, HIV and AIDS will be speaking at a lower voice, sex
I
will be
know.
speaking at a louder voice.
Exactly.
So we need
It
somebody
looks
to
more appealing.
yeah, it
You know?
looks more appealing. So we need somebody to speak and speak more and more. So I agree with you, Mr. Henry. Now, I want us to know, when we are talking about HIV and AIDS, whom are we addressing? Are we addressing those who have it or those who doesn't have it, or how are we supposed to approach this one? But before doing that, let's take a break shortly, and then we'll be coming back. Remember, you're watching Taifa la Leo show. Keep it there. We are going for a short break.